And welcome to another edition of Value My Vote 2011 one-on-one with the candidates. And we're joined by a Democratic candidate for the 5th Councilmanic District, Mr. Scott Carberry. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing very well, thank you.
Now, you're running against an entrenched politician that most would say has been in the office since the 70s.
Indeed.
That, to be quite honest, is not very well liked in around the city, and has been questioned even in her residency of even living in the 5th District.
Yes.
What made you decide to run for the 5th District?
Well, my run for the 5th District, obviously, is because I do live there. I've been there for over a year. I've fallen in love with the area. I'm originally from Waverly and the Charles Village area, and recently moved to the 5th District in Mount Washington area, right near Pimlico Racetrack. And I have always wanted to run for an elected office. I've been interested in it since I was a child, and it just seems that right now was a great time. And oddly enough, when I started investigating who my council person was, and I realized this could be the best time ever, because I had an idea that Ricky Spector was not necessarily, she'd been there for a while, and that maybe someone wanted her to kind of move on, that maybe it's time for her to kind of step aside and let someone else jump in there and see what they can do.
Now, what would be the issues? Because obviously you're facing a political machine in a
Yes.
dynasty. What would be the issues that you would focus on in your run for council?
Well, I've got a pretty basic platform, and it's not too different than what you would hear often, but I think it's important that that the concepts of in our educational system in Baltimore City schools, that we try and find a way to teach green initiatives or environmental studies no later, or should say no earlier than 4th or 5th grade in the elementary level, and then continue that through the secondary school level onto high school, to create more of a environmentally aware student body, who then of course going to be a more environmentally aware voting-based citizenry, that kind of thing. So we have a cleaner, greener, and leaner city. So that's kind of number one. I was an education major 1,000 years ago, so education's always kind of in the forefront of how I see things. I would like to try and take some of the there's some vacant spaces over in the Howard Park area that could definitely do for some revitalization, and I think maybe we can get some green manufacturing in there. Not necessarily green industries, but any industry that would go in there would utilize green initiatives. Once again, I think the thing I see the most when I'm around my city, whether it's my own district or the entire Baltimore City area, is that we need to get a little cleaner, and we need to try and stress that. Things like just being better to each other and more civil. It just kind of comes from an institutional rising up. And it's quite possible that just when someone becomes an entrenched candidate for so many years, they possibly become distracted by satellite interests, things that they have to, address, and constituency they have to, answer to all the time. And I'm a first-time runner for any office, and the things that are most important to me are kind of, I almost hate to use the term grassroots, but definitely kind of a citizen-based, let's build each other up, move forward type of thing. Take care of each other. That way we'll take care of the city, throughout the entire city.
Now, if more people want to get in touch with you and know about your candidacy, learn about you, or get involved in your campaign, how can they reach you?
Well, a couple different ways. I do write a blog called Baltimore Boy. It's on WordPress.com. You can actually just go to Google and type in Scott Carberry, Baltimore Boy, and that'll give you an idea of basically the kind of person that I am. The blog's all about growing up in Baltimore and being from Baltimore and living in it now, and it has just kind of become a forum for my run for city council. Also, of course, on Facebook. That's my social media outlet primarily. I don't use Twitter, but you can type in Scott Carberry Facebook on Google, or Scott Carberry for 5th District City Council and for Facebook, and that'll pop up too, because I have 2 pages, a personal page and also my campaign page.
Okay. Well, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out to come and talk with us and with the voters, more importantly, and wish you well in your run for city council in the 5th District.
Thank you so much. It was my pleasure.
Not a problem. We'll be back with more of Value My